So this right here is a Miyoo Mini. You may have heard of it. It's been all the rage now for about 8 or 9 months. It's a tiny retro console. Ta-da! It is absolutely tiny. Like, honestly, this is ridiculously small. But first, let's quickly go through what else is in the case. So you have the instructions, a micro SD card reader 2.0, which is annoying but could be worse, and also a USB Type A to Type C cable. And that's it. So let's get back to the Miyoo Mini itself. As I said, tiny thing. This is the V2. There's apparently the V3 as well now. I don't quite believe it. I think it's just a marketing thing. I don't think there's actually a third version available. This is, as I said, the V2. And you can see this is a beautiful translucent blue. This is one of the brand new colors. There's translucent blue and translucent black. As you can see, I got the blue, and it's really nice. So like, let's have a quick tour of the thing, right? 3.5-inch screen up here, D-pad, face buttons, you have start select. There's another button right here. On the bottom, you have a headphone jack, a micro SD card slot, and a Type C charging port as well. On the left side, you have a volume wheel. On the right, there's nothing at all. And on the top, you have a power button right there. On the back, you have the R1, R2, L1, L2, the battery. Actually, so while we're here, let's take a look at the battery. So this time it's plugged directly into the PCB, and so this actually does literally fall right out if you tilt it. So don't do that. So that is that for the battery for now. And as you can see, you can literally see the PCB through the case, which is very nice indeed. You have this, I believe that's the speaker. It's a bit weird that the speaker cutouts are slightly off center from the speaker itself. On the back, so here, might be easier if I take this off again. This is really quite nice. Through the case, you can see the Type C charging port, which connects directly to the battery. You can see the micro SD card reader and also the headphone jack right there. So let's try turning it on. And there we go. Boot time is not exactly the fastest ever, but the good thing about this is it has, from what I understand, a sleep-wake function. So click it once, it goes to sleep, and click again, wakes back up immediately. So that is very good. I'm going to do some size comparisons later on in the video. You need to understand just how small, just how tiny this thing is. It very easily fits in the palm of my hand. So it's just incredible. Incredible how small this is. One thing I will note though is you might be able to hear this, but the trigger buttons rattle quite a bit. So if I do this, you can hear quite a bit of rattling, which is not great. So let's have a quick tour of the stock operating system. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tabs. Recent is all the most recent games you've played. Favorites is empty for now, but it's the games you mark as favorite. Games lists out all the different game systems currently on your micro SD card. RetroArch lists out all the different emulators available. Quite a few, you know, Gambate, MAME, PCSX, SNES 9X, a bunch of others. And you have apps. So far there's only 2, File Explorer and RetroArch. And then finally the settings tab. So you can change the brightness up and down. You can change the color profile, the language, so you can change the key mappings. This button takes you back to the menu. Volume, you can change the theme. You can set it to hibernate, either never, after 5, 15 or 30 minutes. Just fixes, whatever that means. You can factory reset, device info, and the hardware test, where it just checks all the various inputs, which is quite nice. So let's take a look at a few games. Let's take a look at GBA. Pokemon games. Let's do Mario Kart. apparently there's a Game Boy Advance One Piece game. So just to give you an idea of how small this thing is, I decided to do a size comparison. So here are a bunch of different devices of various sizes. I just want to quickly compare the size of this thing, the Miyoo Mini, with the size of these. So let's start with the iPhone 7. So this is a red iPhone 7. It fits almost perfectly within just the screen of the iPhone 7, which is insane. Next up is my OnePlus 7T Pro. It's a bit old right now, but it's still going strong. And Miyoo Mini again is roughly right about half the height of the 7T Pro. This is a 2DS XL in terms of width. It takes out probably what, like a third of the width. And yeah, the Miyoo Mini is roughly about the same height as the depth of the 2DS XL as well. This is a PSP, fairly old, fairly dusty, but the Miyoo Mini is almost perfectly the same size as the screen of the PSP itself. Next up we have the Retroid Pocket 2 Plus. This is another great little machine. Even this, again, the Miyoo Mini is roughly the size of the screen, probably a bit bigger. If you chop off the two ends, that's really the size of the Miyoo Mini, and a bit from the bottom as well. And finally, just for the fun of it, this is the Steam Deck. I've done a video on this already, so check that out up here somewhere. Comparing this to the Miyoo Mini is a bit insane, you know? It's like a fifth of the size. Obviously, it's like nowhere near as powerful either, but just for the sake of comparison. And honestly, this thing is very, very cool. For the size, for the price, and just for the sheer novelty of a device like this, you know? It's shipped from China. It's a retro gaming machine that comes pre-loaded with a bunch of ROMs, the legality of which is questionable. But it does very well for the price and for its size. And, you know, I'm very impressed. I'm very impressed. So I need to put this thing through its paces. I'll be going on a holiday soon, so I'll take this with me and see how it fares. I will also be taking the Steam Deck with me. So if you want a video where I unbox the Steam Deck and give first impressions, click here to take a look. Thanks.